Hello, I'm Helen Bradley. Welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're going to look at what's new in the new Word 2013. This is the new start screen that you'll see when you start Word 2013, and it's similar to that in Excel and PowerPoint and Publisher. You'll see the recent documents that you've had open down the side of the screen here, and you'll be given the option to open other documents, for example from SkyDrive or your local computer. There are templates here, and these are current, so at the moment it's sort of October, so we're seeing Thanksgiving and Halloween templates. They will change with the seasons. If there is a template that you like, you can click on it and you can pin it to your start screen. You can also click to have a look at it in more detail. If there are multiple images, you can look through it here. If you want to use it, click Create, otherwise just close it down and you can go and have a look at another template. You can search online for templates, and there are some suggested searches here. If you have your own templates, you can click Personal and view the templates that you've created for yourself. Up here in the top corner are details of the account that you're currently logged into. So this tells me I'm logged into this particular SkyDrive account. Let's open a document and we'll start working inside the new 2013. Here I have a document open inside the new Word 2013. You'll see that the screen is very clean. It's got that sort of Metro style interface that is typical of the new Office 2013 suite. Everything is very flat and your document sort of takes center stage. So let's have a look at a couple of the new features. The first one is the new read mode. I'm going to view and then read mode because a lot of people actually use Word as a reader. So I'm just going to set this back to the layout that you will see by default. This is this sort of two-column layout which allows you to work through the document and read it, and particularly appropriate for using on a tablet. You can change this to the regular page layout if you want to by choosing paper layout. There are paper colors that you can choose. We're obviously using sepia at the moment, and you can set it to the default, which is two columns, narrow or wide, as you choose. There are some other features here. If you right click a word, you can click define and it will be defined on the screen for you. I don't have a word that's actually going to be definable to show you that, but it works just fine. The other thing in this read mode is that you can look at things more closely. For example, we might look at this chart and double click it, and it will now open over the top of the document so that we can look at it in more detail. And that happens as well with Smart Art. Now this read mode is not looking at the document the way it would be presented, so things may overlap if they're complex. The important thing about this read mode is that it's for reading the document and not sort of previewing it the way it's actually going to appear when it's printed. I'm just going to escape out of here to go back to the regular Word. Now one of the other changes to Word is in the review area, so I'm going to open a different document. I have one here that has track changes in it. The track changes feature has been overhauled a little bit. Let's go into review, and I'm just going to show the new mode, which is simple markup. In simple markup, we're going to see the document as it would be if all the changes were incorporated. So that's text that is inserted, and text that has been marked for deletion is deleted. And we can switch between these two modes either by choosing simple markup or all markup here on the tab, or we can click these lines. These are lines indicating that there are changes here, but we're seeing it in simple mode at the moment, so we're not seeing the changes, we're just being warned that there are changes. Click again and now we can see what the changes are. There are some changes too to comments. So for example, if somebody adds a comment to a document, if you want to reply to that comment, you can click this reply button. That allows you to now reply to that comment. The changes here are quite significant because in the past, if you wanted to reply to a comment, all you could do was add another comment. So conversations could become quite long and complex as they sort of scroll down the page. Here now all the comments or all the conversation about a particular point can be isolated inside a single comment. Now I'm just going to delete that comment. Let's just get rid of it in its entirety, and let's go back to viewing this document in the new simple markup. Now I'm going to get rid of all the changes in this document. I'm going to accept everything because I want to show you some of the new design features in the new design tab. The new design tab has put together some of the features that were really difficult to find in earlier versions of Word, in particular these sort of document formatting styles. Now you can see what the document formatting styles are, and if you like one you can click on it to apply it to your document. And there are lots of different styles here to choose from. This is the one that we were using previously, but they're easy to find and to use. If you see one that you like, for example, we might like this sort of grey look, we could change the color scheme that's applied to it. So we could make it blue, for example. There's also the ability to choose different font combinations for our document if we like the look of it but prefer a different combination of fonts, for example. Now, if we create a look that we like and we want to use it every time we open Word, then we can set this as default. This is a new option on the Design tab. If we click this, this is now going to be the default look for all our documents in future. So this new Design tab, lots of features on it that make things more accessible than they were. Of course, if we want to format individual elements on this page, we're back to the Home tab and selecting styles. But these styles are linked to the design or the document format that we're using here from the Design tab. Still in this document, I'm just going to change its rotation back to normal. And we're going to have a look at the new layout options that we have for this. One of them is this layout options icon here, which makes it more accessible to find the text wrapping options. In the past, these were really quite difficult for people to find, and now they've been attached to the image itself. You can also opt to move the image with the text or fix its position on the page. If you click See More, you'll get the more traditional layout dialog. There are also alignment guides, so watch as I move this image around the page. It becomes aligned, or we can see when it is aligned to various objects on the page because we get this green alignment guide appearing. So we can see when it's aligned with paragraphs, with margins of the page, perhaps the edge of the page itself. So this allows you to align things up more easily than you've been able to do in the past. Now, still in this document, we're going to have a look at the new navigation pane. I'm choosing View and then Navigation pane. This document has been set up using styles. So because it's been set up using styles, I can navigate the document by selecting the headings in this navigation pane. It just makes it easier to move around, and particularly a long document. In addition, there are these new collapse icons. Again, because this document has been formatted using heading styles, these collapse and expand icons appear, and I can click on them to collapse the document down to just the heading. So imagine this in a really long document. If you had really large headings that had lots of text underneath them, you could collapse your document so that you only work on the headings that you're interested in working on at the time, and then you can expand the other headings as you go through it. Now, this is a feature that used to be available in outline mode, but it's been brought into print layout, so it's accessible to any document that you create using heading styles. Not only the ability to collapse and expand paragraphs, but also this slightly smarter and more useful navigation pane. Now, as well as collapsing parts of the document, you can now collapse the ribbon. So you can click here to collapse the ribbon, and it collapses to just the headings. And then you can click to open it. You can pin it or unpin it depending on what you want it to appear like. I'm going to pin it because I like to see the ribbon, particularly on large screens. Before we start looking at tables, let's just go to headers and footers. I'm going to choose Insert, and then I'm going to just insert a plain old header into this document. One of the changes here to the header option is that there is access to document info. You can get access to the author, file name, path name, and document title from the header tab, and that's new in this version of Word. So let's just close out of there and let's switch to a document that has a table in it. Here we have a document that has a table in it, and with the table selected we now have options for formatting that table. From the Design tab you'll see that there are additional table styles here, and these are theme aware, so they're going to look like the theme itself. So I've just applied one of them here. Now I can go ahead and format this table a little bit better if I want to. I'm thinking that the text would be better white. So let's just go and get some white text and let's make it a bit bolder. Now there is a new feature with the design of this table in the borders. So we're going to the table, let's just grab the table and going to the Design tab, and here are our new border styles. This allows us to bypass the old border option that was available inside Word and to paint borders on. Now I can click here for border styles and I'll get borders that are theme aware. So these are borders that look like the theme. So I'll just select one, but I might make a slight change to it. I think I'll add a slightly wider border. So I'm choosing the color I want from the styles, but I'm making it a bit wider. Now I'm going to click on the border painter and I'm going to start painting this border onto my table. And wherever I click and paint, it's going to be painted on. So this allows me to paint borders on where I want them to appear and to remove them where I don't want them. For example, I could just set a border to none and they would be removed. Now let's say that I make a mistake down here and I paint this border on by mistake. I want to go back to the regular border. Then all I need to do is from the border styles option here is choose my border sampler. I can sample a border. It's now attached to the border painter. So having sampled it, I can now paint it back onto the table. So this gives me a lot more flexibility in working with tables than I've ever had, particularly with borders and tables, because that's really been a nightmare issue for a lot of users. Now the other thing that I can do in tables that I haven't been able to do easily in the past is to add a row or a column. All I need to do is to position my cursor just where I want the row or column to be inserted, and I get this new indicator and I can click to insert a row. I'm just going to undo that, but let's go and see that the same thing appears between columns. So we could add an extra column to the document. Let's just undo that. We could also add one at this edge if we want to. So there are some new features inside Word, not only new table styles, but the ability to paint on borders, to sample borders, and to access border styles. The new features in Word 2013 extend to images and video. If you click the Insert tab, you get access to online pictures, so you can view images that are in the Office.com clip art collection. You can search Bing, or you can go and search your own SkyDrive account. So let's just type cupcake here. You can see that our cupcake image came from there, but you can add additional images by just clicking on them to insert them into your document. The same thing happens with video content. You can click online video and access online video. The benefit of these insert video and online pictures options is that you can insert content direct from the web without needing to download it and save it to your computer first. Let's have a look at some of the screens that are available here. The Open screen gives you access to recent documents, and if you click Computer, you'll see access to your recently opened folders, and you can pin folders here as well as pin documents here. You can also get access to your SkyDrive account. One of the new features is in this Share option, because you can now present online. If you click this, you can go into a Present Online feature that is presented through the Office Presentation Service, which is a new service. And this is similar to presenting a PowerPoint presentation online. Your presentation or your Word document is uploaded and you're given a link that you can then share with others, and they can watch as you present the document to them. You also have the ability to publish blog posts and invite people also to share your document. This would be done via a SkyDrive location. Here are the account options. Here you can see what account you're currently logged into. You can also add services. For example, we could add a LinkedIn or Twitter service here. We're already connected to Facebook and SkyDrive, and you can see your update options. The other feature that I want to talk about is the ability to open and edit PDFs. So I have the open screen available here, and there is a PDF that I just downloaded. So I'm just going to click it to open it. Now, you've never been able to do this before inside Word, and that is to open a PDF for editing. Now, the application is not perfect. In fact, it's far from perfect, particularly with complex documents like this one that actually has images and pieces in it. But if we go to the Select pane here, we're able to actually locate the picture and the elements that are part of this document. So I can actually find these shapes, and I'm just deleting them. So I'm getting rid of these shapes that made the image, and now I have something more attuned to the original PDF, and I could make changes to it. I would probably need to reformat this table, as tables aren't particularly friendly, but you do get access to the internal contents of a PDF file, which you couldn't in the past. So there's a roundup of the features that are new in Word 2013. I'm Helen Bradley. Thank you for joining me for this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you're advised of new videos. You can also find more blog posts and information on my website at projectwoman.com.